Yay, Pestilence time! We're going to talk about Pestilence. Yeah, because some people want to compare the 25-meter range that you automatically get on the gun to the damage that it could outproduce or produce out or whatever the hell you want to call it. Yeah, let's talk about this, shall we? Jesus Christ! So the Pestilence tick, which everybody should know right here, is actually based upon the multiplicatives and the things like damage to armor, the perfect glass cannon, vigilance, those kinds of things. It increases by that. But to compare this right down here, this little 25-meter range that says whenever an enemy dies within this debuff, all stacks are transferred to a nearby enemy within 25 meters. Well, that's automatic right there. So you know what? We're just going to throw this up on the little drawing board behind me and we're going to talk about this. Now, the reason why we want to talk about it is because some people also want to claim that having weapon handling on your build is better than having the crit chance or crit damage, which that is a straight lie. You still want your bullets to actually crit and do damage, but you also want the tick to do damage, because if you don't have either one of those doing the max potential that it can, you're just shooting Nerf pellets at shit. So let's go into some builds. So first, before we jump into all the builds, we're going to go over the 25-meter range and see if y'all can understand this. Now, these targets over here are at 10 meters. So that right there is a 10-meter range. About where that second box is right there, underneath there. This is the 5-meter, which should be straight here. So we're going to bring this all the way forward so that way it doesn't transfer to these, to show that it is a 10-meter. Now this one here, that's about 20, so we're going to bring this to 5. Now this one here is at 50. So right now, those are at 10 and this is at 50. It should not be able to transfer over to those right there. So the idea is basically we just shoot a few times, hopefully it kills it. It'll have some tick on there, and then if it doesn't transfer, then we know where it is. We'll know the 25-meter range. So as you can see, boom, nothing. No ticks, no nothing. There's no numbers popping up. So okay, there's 45. So we're at 20 meters. No, wait, sorry. We're at 35 meters. Bleh. We're at 35 meters, everybody. I can math. Oh, look, nothing. All right, so we dropped down 10. That right there, if that's at 10, which this one's at 5 and the other one's at 5, this one's at 35. If I kill this one here, it should transfer to one of those small ones, right? All right, here we go. If it transfers over, it transferred over. There's a 25. The gun automatically gets the 25 meters. Woohoo! That means we can go for damage.
Son of a bitch! Emotional damage!
Now, some of these builds out here I've seen, we're going to go over a few of them, like I said, but we're going to show, hey look, I've got LMG damage here. We're using the gunner, so all we're going to get out of this is a little bit on the third kill, maybe a faster reload. We've got some weapon handling. That's really all we're going to gain from this, and armor on kill. Nothing special, no extra headshot damage, no other teammates, as you can see, nearby to give me any of their specialist extra bonuses, nothing like that. So as you can see, we're going to go over the build here in just a second. I'm going to set this target for 10 meters away. We've got those ones at 10 meters, so that's going to jump that one over. And then we've got the one in between here, which might jump as long as we don't get on that first pillar, because that first pillar right there at the very front, as you can see those little boxes, that can actually glitch out and mess up the tick. So here's some typical builds that you see trying to use the Pestilence, which are not even given the max potential damage. Now we have Seska, we have Grupo, we have the perfect chest piece, the Sacrifice, and some will use 3-piece Providence, others might use 2-piece Providence because of the Vigilance on the backpack, which you only gain like 1 second, nothing extra in damage. Then they use the Pestilence. Now, is that a good build? It can give you good crit chance on the bullets, but because we're not worried about the tick's range anymore, we can actually go for, say, damage wise. So let's go per bullet, right? So we're hitting 711, 7-7 right there up close, but that's also because we have the Coyote's mask, so we get extra crit hit damage on that. Does that affect the actual tick? No, it does not. What affects the tick is the thing like the Sacrifice's chest piece, or in the Vigilance backpack, damage to armor and damage to targets out of cover, those types of things. So you can see the tick is just based right there. We don't have any extra bit. As you can see, the tick hasn't changed from when we shoot something closer versus something farther away, because the crit chance versus crit damage. So we're not getting anything more out of the tick. So if you want to increase your damage in your bullets, you can lose some of this off by gaining into your tick damage and actually getting stuff to die faster. As you can see, it's even still continuously transferring. So people sit there to say that not having enough bullet damage and the tick's going to wipe away because it just transfers to a red. If I get the tick high enough, it's going to kill that red in 2 clicks. Look, 1, 2. Oh, he still got it. And it's still transferring.
Got him!
So then we can actually go to a real Pestilence build. A real Pestilence build. Again, we've got the max LMG damage right there on this one, even though this character doesn't have everything maxed out. But you can see, we've got the strongest tick damage. Now, here's the thing. Is it Sawyer's best? No. Fox's is. But Sawyer's will give the max tick damage. You have to stay still. That's the part that sucks. Now, again, we have 2 blue cores on this, which doesn't really help the bullets damage, but it does help the tick. So we brought the 14% expertise LMG over to this character, and we're going to slap it on with this. We got 2 Peace Walker and 1 Sacrifice chest piece, Petrov Contractor's gloves, Sawyer's knee pads, and the Picaro's holster. Now let's see what we can get this tick to max out for. And the bullets. Set everything back up the same way. As you see, we still got purples over there. That doesn't really matter. It's just about having the transfer. And as you can see, again, here we go. There's the build. So you know I'm not bullshitting you. Haven't changed anything. It's still live. Let's get this thing maxed out. Now look, as you can see, we're still hitting about close to 570. So we went from 7.7, or was it 740 or something like that before, to barely 600. But as you can see, we're hitting 631 over there. 631 on a bullet. But we also got some pretty high ticks. Oh, look at that. 1.54. 1.54. Damn, did you see that tick? Look at that. 1.540. Yeah, we were barely hitting, what, 1.3, 1.27, and now we're hitting 1.54. That's my point. You can trade the bullet damage for the tick damage. It's not about the 25 meter range because it's still transferring. Look, it's still transferring. It's still transferring. But again, we get that one right here on the front, and that's where it fucks up in the shooting range. Don't know why, but it's always right there. That one piece fucks up, like I said before.
Guess what, motherfucker?
So now we can trade off these Sawyers and go to, like I was saying, the Foxes. Now, this is going to give us 1 extra ray core, so our initial bullet damage is definitely going to be higher. As you see, 613 versus 570. But look, our tick, it's still ticking away. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's still transferring. 613, 613. There you go. And it's still transferring. Look at this. I can even set this target right here for 10 so we don't get that piece to fuck up in here. But look at this. The tick damage is still stronger. 1.4. More than a crit chance, crit damage. We're still not worrying about the 25 meter range because look, it's still transferring as long as the adds are within 25 meters. And it's still killing reds. So to even say on anybody else's video that you're worried about the reds, you know, transferring and it not transferring to the nearby one because you you got to worry about maybe less than 25 meters, you're always going to have the 25 meters. That makes no sense. And look, I can even get 2 of them to stack. Look, I can have 2 ticks going if I wanted to. Like Jesus, the tick is the more important piece for this, and having the crit chance and crit damage to back it up for your bullets.
I'm about to end this man's whole career.
So then let's see what the actual bullet damage is that we can get out of these things. Let's go for the headshots. 840 something, what was it, 847 right there? Yeah, 847 on a headshot. That's pretty good. 579 on a chest shot. That's still pretty good. So if we're able to crit and keep critting those high bullets and have a high tick, that's what really matters. And that's using this one with the Foxes, so we can actually maneuver around and not have to worry about the Sawyers going away. Not worrying about the 25 meter range.
Nice.
But here's the problem doing this comparison right here. The mask with this Pestilence. Now why? Because we get the extra crit hit damage up close. Now that's going to change it up. So all we have to do to change this is trade out this mask for a Grupo here, which is very simple, and then put on the Picaro's holster, which would basically nearly be the same. All we're trading is the Walker pieces for a Seska and Grupo, which is where we're trying to get the bullet damage up. But if we do that, we also lose the tick damage on the armor of those effects. So you're trading one for the other, but this would be the better version. This way, at least in one sense, you can get more on your tick and more on your crit chance and crit hit damage at the same time, if you make the build this way. So you can see we got 672 versus what was it, almost 590. So we've jumped up almost 80k per bullet. 923 again. But we also would get more tick just because of the Picaro's holster. You get more tick damage that way. So if you're going to make a build like that where you want to crit your higher bullets and get the Picaro's piece on there so you can get the more tick damage as well, that's how you would run it. Not the Coyotes, and not a 3-piece Providence. Or if you do the Seska or 3-piece Providence, you would want the Providence on your mask, Providence on your backpack. And there you go. That's the part that's player's choice. But the 25 meter range doesn't mean jack shit when you automatically get it, because it's a part of the damn weapon.